Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Dan Quinn has finally confirmed what Washington Commanders fans had suspected for weeks. Brian Robinson Jr. is on the way out. The announcement came as no surprise given Adam Peters' aggressive roster management and willingness to make bold moves without hesitation. For a team that is clearly trying to reshape its identity heading into the 2025 season, Robinson's demotion reflects a larger strategy to retool and pursue options that align with their long-term vision. Fans who had held on to hope that the Alabama product might reclaim his role will have to confront the reality that the Commanders are moving forward without him. Robinson's absence from practice and the preseason game against the Cincinnati Bengals signaled that the organization has made a calculated decision to shift focus. This development underscores a trend in the NFL where short-term patience is often sacrificed for projected growth and the allure of untested talent who can be molded into future starters. The confidence in new running backs like Chris Rodriguez Jr. and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt demonstrates the Commanders' commitment to internal competition over nostalgia or loyalty. Robinson was initially projected to be the lead back in Washington's backfield for 2025, and his early offseason praise from offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury suggested he had real momentum. The glowing remarks about his renewed focus, work ethic, and determination painted a picture of a player ready to capitalize on opportunities. However, the landscape of the Commanders' roster shifted dramatically under Peters, whose willingness to invest heavily in offensive line improvements hinted at bigger structural changes. Despite these investments, Robinson's projected role never materialized, and his standing within the team eroded quietly but steadily. Trade rumors had already started circulating, suggesting that other teams were being gauged for interest, and the decision to hold him out of the Monday Night Football preseason game only amplified the speculation. Ultimately, this is a case where strategic planning and personnel philosophy overrode the potential upside of a player once seen as a cornerstone. The move reflects a philosophy in Washington that rewards immediate impact, adaptability, and alignment with the broader vision, even at the expense of established contributors who had earned fan affection. The Commanders' approach to Brian Robinson Jr. highlights a broader trend in the NFL where organizations are increasingly willing to part ways with players who may no longer fit their trajectory. Dan Quinn's public confirmation that Robinson has been excused from practice leaves little doubt that his tenure in Washington is ending. The team's willingness to explore trade opportunities rather than allow the situation to linger demonstrates Peters' aggressive management style. For the fan base, this signals that the franchise values roster flexibility and proactive decision-making over sentimentality. Robinson's potential marketability remains an open question, but his base salary of over $3.4 million might complicate matters for teams considering acquiring him. Even so, the Commanders are clear that they will not retain him merely for the sake of loyalty. This approach emphasizes that in the modern NFL, financial considerations and roster balance are often decisive, even when a player has demonstrated competence and commitment. The implication is that Robinson's future lies elsewhere, with another franchise willing to absorb his experience, physicality, and the potential he has shown throughout his career. For Commanders fans, the reality is sobering. Any remaining hope of a late reprieve for Robinson has effectively evaporated. With Peters prioritizing younger or unproven options like Rodriguez Jr. and Krosky-Merritt, the team is signaling confidence in these alternatives despite their limited track records. This is a gamble, particularly in a league where depth and experience are invaluable commodities, and the pressure to perform immediately can define careers. The departure of Robinson, a player who overcame adversity and contributed steadily, may leave some questioning the short-term consequences. However, the Commanders appear committed to reshaping their backfield identity, emphasizing versatility, speed, and the potential for explosive plays rather than relying solely on a known quantity. Fans will watch closely as these rookies and resurgent players attempt to fill the void left by Robinson. The stakes are high, and every snap will be a test of whether Washington's bold roster decisions pay off or create unforeseen weaknesses that could impact early season performance. Robinson's journey with the Commanders is emblematic of the fragile nature of NFL careers, particularly for players drafted in the mid-rounds. Initially a third-round selection, he had to navigate expectations, competition, and the relentless scrutiny of a league where only peak performance ensures longevity. Despite displaying resilience and earning praise for his dedication, the lack of game-changing plays ultimately contributed to his displacement. This is a stark reminder that talent and effort, while necessary, are not always sufficient to secure a long-term role in a highly competitive environment. The combination of team philosophy, management decisions, and performance metrics can abruptly alter a player's trajectory, regardless of past accomplishments. Robinson's situation serves as a case study in how modern NFL franchises operate with calculated ruthlessness, prioritizing long-term strategy and projected upside over historical contributions or incremental improvements. It is a harsh reality, but one that underscores the business-oriented nature of professional football. The potential ripple effects of Robinson's exit extend beyond the individual. For the Commanders' offensive scheme, it signals a shift in priorities and personnel allocation. Offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury now faces the challenge of adjusting his strategy to integrate Rodriguez Jr., Merritt, and other options into the backfield rotation. This transition requires careful planning to ensure that the team maintains offensive balance while maximizing the skill sets of new contributors. The departure also affects team chemistry, as veteran leadership and familiarity with the playbook must be recalibrated to accommodate emerging talents. These adjustments underscore the complexity of roster management and the importance of adaptability in achieving team success. While Robinson's contributions were reliable, the coaching staff appears willing to embrace uncertainty in favor of long-term growth and flexibility. The coming weeks of training camp and preseason matchups will provide crucial insights into how these changes materialize on the field and whether the Commanders' gamble yields the anticipated results. Robinson's next steps will be closely watched across the league, particularly by franchises seeking a physical, disciplined running back capable of contributing in multiple scenarios. His base salary of $3.4 million may deter some teams, but his work ethic, experience, and durability remain appealing attributes. For teams lacking depth or seeking a power back to complement a more dynamic starter, Robinson could represent a valuable addition. However, the NFL's salary cap constraints and strategic priorities often complicate such acquisitions. His future will likely hinge on identifying a team willing to balance financial considerations with immediate roster needs. Meanwhile, the Commanders can continue exploring trade options, ensuring that if a suitable partner emerges, they can recoup value rather than release him outright. This situation illustrates the interconnected nature of NFL decision-making, where player mobility, team strategy, and financial management converge to shape the outcomes of personnel moves. From a historical perspective, Robinson's departure also reflects the challenges faced by Ron Rivera-era draft picks attempting to navigate a new regime. His story is reminiscent of other players whose early promise was undermined by organizational changes, evolving coaching philosophies, and competitive pressures. While fans often remember individual plays and key contributions, team management operates with a broader, long-term lens. Robinson's tenure with Washington may have lacked explosive highlights, but his consistency and resilience contributed to the overall fabric of the roster. The shift away from him illustrates how quickly fortunes can change in the NFL, particularly when a franchise transitions from one leadership approach to another. For Robinson, this may be a moment of disappointment, but it also opens the door to new opportunities where his strengths can be fully leveraged under a system that aligns with his abilities and style of play. Critics may question the wisdom of moving on from Robinson, particularly given the unproven nature of his potential replacements. Rodriguez Jr. and Merritt have yet to demonstrate their capability in high-pressure situations, and relying on them introduces an element of risk. However, Peters appears confident that the combination of athleticism, adaptability, and developmental upside outweighs the security offered by retaining Robinson. The philosophy seems clear: take calculated risks now to create the roster composition desired for 2025 and beyond. Veteran presences like Austin Ekeler and Jeremy McNichols provide a buffer, ensuring that experience is not entirely absent from the backfield. Yet, The decision underscores a willingness to accept short-term uncertainty for the potential of longer-term gain, a hallmark of Peters' aggressive roster management style that prioritizes flexibility, opportunity, and strategic foresight. Robinson's departure is also emblematic of the emotional challenges that NFL players face when loyalty, effort, and dedication do not guarantee tenure. He gave everything to the Commanders, overcoming early career obstacles to become a reliable contributor. Yet, in a results-driven environment, decent performance is often insufficient to secure a role. The franchise's choice to move forward without him sends a clear message about the competitive intensity of professional football and the unforgiving nature of roster decisions. Fans and analysts alike are reminded that success is measured not only by effort but by impact, versatility, and alignment with organizational vision. Robinson's experience underscores the dual realities of admiration and impermanence in the NFL, where career highs can quickly be overshadowed by strategic pivots and where every snap matters in shaping professional futures. As the Commanders navigate this transition, the focus shifts toward the future of the backfield and the broader implications for team strategy. The departure of Robinson creates opportunities for new talent to emerge, while simultaneously highlighting the high stakes of Peters' decision-making process. The next phase of the preseason will be crucial in evaluating whether the combination of Rodriguez Jr., Krosky-Merritt, and veteran backups can meet the demands of a competitive NFL schedule. Fans will closely monitor performance metrics, situational effectiveness, and adaptability as these players attempt to fill the void left by Robinson. Meanwhile, Robinson himself will explore opportunities to continue his career elsewhere, potentially finding a situation better suited to his skill set and style of play. This chapter closes in Washington, but the story of Brian Robinson Jr. in the NFL is far from over, offering both cautionary lessons and renewed possibilities for growth, resilience, and future contributions in the league. The final paragraph solidifies the conclusion of Robinson's tenure with the Commanders while emphasizing broader narratives about roster strategy, career volatility, and the business side of the NFL. It marks the end of one chapter while leaving open the potential for continued professional achievement elsewhere. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The Washington Commanders have reportedly set the NFL world on fire with what insiders are calling a mega renewal of their roster. But the spotlight is undeniably on one man, Terry McLaurin. Sources close to the organization suggest that McLaurin, the team's standout wide receiver, has agreed to a monumental contract extension running all the way through 2030. While no official numbers have been released, the whispers circulating in league circles claim this deal makes him the highest-paid player in the franchise's history. Fans are buzzing, analysts are scrambling, and social media is ablaze with speculation about how this will reshape not just the Commanders, but the entire NFC East. McLaurin's name has long been synonymous with explosive plays, electrifying routes, and an uncanny ability to make defenders look ordinary. And now it seems the front office has decided that keeping him is not just a priority, it's a statement to the league. The timing of this contract, coming after yet another season in which McLaurin showcased his elite skill set, has led many to believe the Commanders are making a strategic long-term investment. His chemistry with the team's quarterback, the consistency of his performances, and his leadership both on and off the field are often cited as justifications for such a substantial commitment. Rumor has it that internal discussions stretched over months, with the front office weighing multiple scenarios, including potential trades and salary cap adjustments, before landing on a package that would lock McLaurin in for nearly a decade. Critics, however, are raising eyebrows, questioning whether committing so heavily to a single player in a league known for injuries and volatility is wise. Yet supporters argue that McLaurin represents the very identity of the team and that losing him could set the franchise back years. For fans, the thought of seeing him in Commanders colors until 2030 has ignited excitement, a sense of permanence rarely felt in modern football. Financial analysts and sports commentators have been dissecting the rumored figures, trying to understand the implications for the Commanders' salary cap and roster flexibility. Some insiders suggest that the deal includes performance incentives, loyalty bonuses, and clauses designed to reward McLaurin for sustained elite performance, while protecting the team from long-term risk. There is talk of creative structuring to allow the Commanders to remain competitive in free agency while honoring this massive commitment. Meanwhile, league watchers are speculating on how this move could shift dynamics across the NFL, especially within the NFC East, where rival teams might now feel pressure to make headline-grabbing signings of their own. The rumor mill suggests McLaurin's deal could set a precedent for how franchises approach top-tier wide receivers, blending financial ambition with strategic foresight in ways previously unseen. Fans are already theorizing about the potential ripple effects this extension could have on the locker room culture. Some speculate that younger players will view McLaurin as a mentor, someone whose presence guarantees not just elite performance, but also stability in the locker room. Others are hinting that this renewal could influence upcoming draft decisions, as management might prioritize complementary pieces knowing their star receiver is now anchored for the next decade. Social media is flooded with fan-made graphics projecting McLaurin's stats through 2030, imagining touchdowns, receptions, and game-winning moments that may never come to pass, but speak to the optimism surrounding his tenure. Rumors abound that McLaurin himself is thrilled by the prospect of becoming a long-term face of the franchise, something he reportedly expressed to teammates in private, further fueling speculation about the cultural impact of this deal beyond just the numbers. Speculators in sports media circles are also dissecting the potential ramifications for rival franchises. If McLaurin is indeed the highest-paid player in Commanders' history, the bar for wide receiver contracts across the league could rise, with agents pointing to this deal as leverage in upcoming negotiations. NFC East rivals, especially teams like the Cowboys and Eagles, are rumored to be monitoring the situation closely, considering whether counter-signings or trade maneuvers might be necessary to keep pace. Analysts are highlighting how such an investment signals a shift in philosophy for the Commanders, one that prioritizes star retention over short-term flexibility, a gamble that could either cement their status as contenders or limit their maneuvering room in future seasons. The rumor mill suggests discussions about balancing this mega deal with supporting talent are ongoing, adding layers of intrigue to an already sensational narrative. The impact on McLaurin's personal brand cannot be overstated, according to industry insiders. Rumors suggest that this contract could elevate him into a league-wide icon, creating opportunities for endorsements, media appearances, and off-field ventures that align with his rising star power. Some speculate that the Commanders' marketing team is already crafting campaigns highlighting McLaurin's decade-long commitment to the franchise, aiming to connect with fans on a narrative level that transcends the XS and OS of football. Sports journalists hint that this move could also influence how future contracts are marketed, where player loyalty becomes a headline rather than simply salary numbers. Even casual fans seem caught up in the hype, sharing memes, highlight reels, and speculative commentary that collectively amplify the sense that McLaurin is not just a player, but a symbol of long-term ambition for the Commanders organization. Rumors have also emerged regarding how this extension may affect the team's draft strategy. Sources hint that management could now feel free to target positions of depth rather than searching for an immediate superstar wide receiver, confident that McLaurin's presence alleviates the pressure of finding a primary offensive threat. Analysts are suggesting that the front office might focus on bolstering the offensive line or adding dynamic running backs, effectively complementing McLaurin's skill set and maximizing his long-term impact. Inside whispers claim that coaches are already brainstorming schemes designed to exploit his talents for years to come, possibly revolutionizing the team's offensive identity. Fans, naturally, are imagining a near-future Commanders offense centered around McLaurin's explosive plays, anticipating highlight reels that could define an era and solidify his place in franchise lore. The speculation surrounding McLaurin's contract also raises intriguing questions about team culture and morale. Insiders suggest that younger players may feel inspired, motivated, or even challenged by the front office's apparent prioritization of a superstar, potentially influencing leadership dynamics within the locker room. Meanwhile, veteran players are rumored to be evaluating their own roles and compensation, considering whether McLaurin's megadeal signals a shift in the franchise's reward system for elite talent. Social media chatter reflects this tension, with fans debating whether such a commitment fosters cohesion or creates pressure for other players to perform at similar levels. Industry experts note that managing the human element of a historic contract is often as crucial as the financial considerations and sources. Hint that team management is fully aware of the delicate balance required to keep everyone motivated and aligned with the franchise's vision. Speculation has also turned toward the NFL at large, with rumors suggesting that other teams are quietly observing the deal for strategic insights. Some sources claim that franchises may adjust their approach to superstar retention, considering whether long-term megadeals could be viable without compromising roster flexibility. Agents are reportedly in high-level discussions about how to leverage McLaurin's contract as a benchmark for negotiations, potentially reshaping the market for elite receivers across the league. Analysts are weighing the pros and cons, debating whether the Commanders' gamble will be celebrated as visionary or scrutinized as risky. Meanwhile, fans continue to speculate wildly, projecting not only McLaurin's stats, but also imagining rival responses, trade scenarios, and even hypothetical Super Bowl runs driven by the stability this deal could provide. Behind the scenes, rumors hint at intense negotiations that span months, with both McLaurin's camp and the Commanders carefully weighing options. Sources close to the talks suggest that the discussions involved complex structures, including incentives, bonus payments, and clauses that ensure both sides are protected over a potentially decade-long partnership. Analysts suggest this kind of negotiation is rare in the modern NFL, reflecting not just McLaurin's value on the field, but his perceived cultural and marketing impact off the field. Fans have latched on to every reported detail, dissecting phrases like long-term commitment and franchise cornerstone, creating an aura of anticipation reminiscent of blockbuster sports headlines from decades past. Social media speculation is rampant, with memes, timelines, and highlight reels fueling the narrative that this contract is more than numbers. It's a symbol of a new era in Washington Commanders football. Ultimately, the whispers surrounding McLaurin's mega renewal reflect a combination of ambition, strategy, and star power. Rumors suggest the front office sees this as a defining moment, a chance to anchor the team's identity around a player whose talent, leadership, and marketability are undeniable. Critics may question the long-term wisdom of such a move, yet the excitement among fans, analysts, and media insiders is palpable, hinting that this could be remembered as one of the boldest and most consequential decisions in franchise history. If the rumors hold true, McLaurin will not only redefine what it means to be a Commander superstar, but also set a precedent for how teams balance loyalty, performance, and financial ambition in an ever-evolving NFL landscape. Conversations continue, speculation grows, and one thing is certain. The name Terry McLaurin is now synonymous with a vision that could shape the team and the league for years to come. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.